Alright, welcome back to another lighting critique. First up we have XVArts, and I see that you have a new iteration, bringing it down the rim light on the fisherman's belly so it's not so hot, and also introducing some fill onto the fisherman's face. It's definitely feeling a lot better than before. And I see also that you have introduced some fill onto the mermaid's face as well, so that's feeling nice. I was wondering whether you could possibly take a look at bringing up some of the blacks here by introducing, like a fill light, an area light here. Just to kind of bring up the blacks a bit more, because it does feel like we're losing detail. The only other comments, I guess, would be that I feel like the reflection on the ocean, the lights that's being cast onto the ocean, is actually brighter than a lot of the levels, a lot of the brighter levels on the sky. And again, we're running to that issue of the energy from the light is coming from the source, which is the sun, and that light energy can never be more than the source itself. Similar to my comment about the rim on the fisherman's belly. We're starting to feel the same way, or getting into the same issue with the water here. So I'd like you to maybe bring back the intensity of this original sky, because I feel like that was in a really good place. And even the reflections, I like how in the previous version it's a lot, the reflection's a lot more kind of localized. Excuse me. So instead of this quite broad spread of the light, maybe you could, I would just revert back, or maybe, let's see, something like that feels nice. So have a go at that. Yeah, I'd bring in most of the original sky and water, and obviously keep what you have with the characters. It's looking good, and bring up the fills on the darks here. Okay, but otherwise, really, it's coming together. It's looking great. All right, Molly. Yeah, so this light, this next iteration that you have here is looking great, and there's a real kind of finesse about the way you've introduced, lighting on the mermaid's face and body, and it appears very cohesive. Like it looks like the one light source here, which is the moon, has come down and kind of given rationale to the way all the elements in the scene, all the characters in the scene are lit, and it feels very naturalistic. I don't know whether you've introduced you've probably introduced several lights, maybe like that, and you know that, and that, and it feels like you know, very well thought out and planned lighting scheme, but it feels like it's very cohesive. Like this is, I would say this is probably one of my favorite takes on this scene, because it feels very naturalistic, and you've got, you know, with the background you've got depth cues that aren't you know, overly done, overly wrought, and the light from the moon feels very cohesive, and the levels are great. What more can I say? It just feels like a really well lit shot. I'm not sure whether you were thinking of doing anything more. You know, maybe. No, I would say that this shot is pretty good, pretty much done, and I would submit it for final. It's, yeah, I love it. Well done. Krystina. So I see you've got an update here, and it looks like you have, in general, brought the fill levels down, so it's looking a lot more moody and interesting and noirish, and I see that you know, you've given some tint to the rims here, a bit of blue versus the previous iteration, but the main thing is that I see that you have really localized this light source, this sort of warmish kind of light source, which is the flame of the wick of the bomb that's about to explode, and yeah, it's looking a lot better and more cohesive, and I can see that there's a nice you know, you've got some nice color latitude there between the blue and the warmish yellow amber light, so that gives nice visual interest. What else? If anything, and I don't know whether this will make that much of a difference, but maybe try getting it even a more localized effect on this light source here, so that it falls off quicker, so that by the time, maybe when we get to about here, you know, halfway or about a third way through the ears, it gets much darker, you know, and the fall off actually starts off, you know, maybe here, and then falls off quite a bit by the time you get to there. So we want to get maybe the levels like here on the ears, just again to really sell that idea that, you know, the singular light source is, you know, it's a small light source. It's not that bright, and just to kind of further emphasize that sort of, you know, it's a little bit foreboding, I guess, but you're definitely on the right track. I see that the moon's been given a kind of a bluish tint, more of a bluish tint. That's working really well. great. Looking good. This one, Dipali. Sorry, I forgot to write your name. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. I can see that you've brought down the fill levels on both characters, so that's reading punchier, so that's great, and it's taken some of the magenta out from the sky. That's good. Yeah, in general, it's looking pretty good. I feel like it's a touch bright. Could try bringing it down by, I'd say, like maybe a quarter stop. It's just a touch bright, maybe like a quarter stop, something like that. Yeah, try bring it down by half a stop. Sorry, a quarter of a stop, and I think you're good. Okay, Justin. This is looking really good. I feel though that the shot is a touch overexposed. Again, maybe like a quarter stop down, and try this. I like how the background is kind of graded off as you get to screen left, and it's darker like this. I'm wondering whether you want to maybe go a bit further and maybe bring that level of intensity of the light to maybe like halfway. So if that were here, and then as we got to here, it's darker, I'd say let's go try going like half a stop, maybe even one stop. Try going down one stop on this end and see what you get, and start that grad, you know, earlier, so you know you're starting to get darker here, and the stop. A stop. Yes, by the time we get to there. And perhaps you could swing whatever light is casting onto her face there. It feels a little bit, maybe you've got several lights, but it does feel a little bit front lit. So if you could swing it that way, so that we feel, you know, the fill side gets darker here, and maybe you get a little red red on her cheeks, you know, maybe some light spilling over here. You know. And then this can go darker. I'm really liking, you know, that subtle rim light on her sweater. That's looking really great. Same here. I don't know whether it's a shader issue, but could try maybe introducing like a really subtle rim on this side, just to kind of get some light to wrap over onto her from the window. But in general, it's a great start. This is the first time I've seen it. So yeah, well done. Holly. So this is, I guess, bringing down the contrast. I think I kind of steered you the wrong way last time, and getting the fill levels up inside the car again. That's working much better. I feel like the lights on her are probably a little bit too bright. This is what we had before. This is, I hate to use the term, but split the difference and maybe go halfway, like, yeah, something like that. Yeah, this is, because I feel like this is way too hot, and this is way too hot. It's way too hot. It could be the shader, and it doesn't feel like it affects her hair as much as her skin, and maybe her clothes, but it really does blow out. So yeah, so try, bring it down. Bring it down by about 50% on those lights that I just mentioned, and you should be good to go. All right. I think that might be it for this round. In general, it's all the shots are looking great. I'm really chuffed that you guys have been, really working hard on these shots. So well done. Thank you.